My name's Adam Hills. Welcome to Spicks and Specks, the music quiz show that's desperately trying to convince the bouncer its name is on the door. Our two team captains each and every week are the jet-setting Alan Bro and the hotel-trashing Miff Warhurst. Alan's first guest tonight is an Australian rock icon who once performed at Sunbury wearing a gold jumpsuit, a helmet with wings on it, as well as wings on his feet. He had to stop halfway through when Commissioner Gordon called to tell him the Riddler was back in Gotham. Welcome back, Jim Keys. Alan's second team member is a musical comedian who says her two biggest influences were David Bowie and Michael Caine. That would explain her latest song, I Bloody Love You, Major Tom. Welcome to the show, Geraldine Quinn. Miff's first guest tonight is the 2008 winner of Australian Idol, who was convinced he was going to marry Tina Arena because she once winked at him in concert. He also thought he was going to marry the Wiggles because they kept pointing at him. Please welcome Wes Carr. Welcome, sir. This final guest is a comedian and radio announcer who earlier this year sailed from Melbourne to Tasmania on a tall ship. He knew he wasn't cut out for the journey when he asked which way was business class. Here's Hamish Blake. Now, Jim, before we even kick off the show, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
It's lovely to have you back for a number of reasons.
Yes.
You were quite ill after you were last on our show. Well, not because of being on our show.
I was in therapy. Unfortunately, it was chemotherapy, but no, I got there in the end.
Bang! That was nice.
Yeah. It was, though, wasn't it?
It was actually chemotherapy, yeah. I had a bit of a run-in with the medical profession, but I'm OK now.
And we actually felt quite bad here at Spicks and Specks because the last time you were on our show was a Halloween episode,
it was.
I believe, and you were dressed as Death.
I know.
Oh, wow.
I know. And it wasn't until you pointed it out to me that I sort of got the connection.
I know, so we felt like we kind of jinxed you.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, we're going to finish this show by dressing you as a Playboy bunny.
If you wouldn't mind.
It also occurred to us here at Spicks and Specks that we've had you on a few times. We've never really talked about how massive Masters Apprentices were.
Yeah, we had a good run.
Firstly, let's have a look at a clip. This is Because I Love You.
Yep.
And that's you right there.
That is me there, with the beard and all.
Gee, spunky, beardy spunk.
Yeah. What went wrong?
You wouldn't have had much trouble with the ladies, would you?
There was one point you turned up at Adelaide Airport and there were 4,000 fans waiting for you.
Yeah, I remember flying down in the plane and I was sitting next to our drummer, Colin, and I said, hey, Cole, look at the crowd. Is the Queen arriving or something? And we got out of the plane and they were for us. But the radio station had given us the flight times of our arrival and 4,000 kids turned up. It was unbelievable.
That's incredible.
radio stations.
They're terrible, those people.
And what happened? Because you wouldn't have had security.
No, there's no security.
And Adelaide, you got off on the
tarmac. Yeah, and when they jumped the fences and ran and ripped our clothes off, which is quite a common occurrence.
That's customs for you.
So you've actually had your clothes ripped off?
Many, many times. We on stage...
This is terrific.
That's awesome!
It was a regular occurrence on stage. I remember being on stage and they opened the curtains. We hadn't even started yet, and the kids came up, ripped the whole thing off. All I had was jocks and a pair of shoes left.
Oh, God.
And,
Surely you start wearing stirdier clothing.
Exactly what happened. We went through a
pants?
few years of that, and it cost every cent we made went on new clothes. We used to get the tailors to make buckets of clothes for us. Used to come up with different ideas, and we came up with this idea of getting some leather gear to look cool. And all of a sudden we made a fortune because they couldn't rip it.
Did groupies ever find out where you lived?
Yes. Yeah, that was... of a Sunday afternoon, we'd have as many as 60 girls out the front of our flat and probably 10 or 12 inside.
Just running into the cupboard going, let's go straight to the source, get all these clothes. Thanks very much.
Miff and Alan are going to pick a topic. Everybody are going to be quizzed on it. Your choices tonight are 1906, 1940, 1970 and 2006, which was the Chinese Year of the Dog. Hence the photo.
The transgender dog.
Miff, you can pick the first topic tonight.
Look at the youth I have on my team. We have to go for 2006.
Careful, Miff. Yeah. Alrighty. Alan?
And I've always loved Mary Tyler Moore's hair, so we'll go for 1970.
All right. We'll start with 2006. Everyone on your buzzers. Let's play Spicks and Specks. First question for 1 point. Which famous New York punk club on the Bowery closed down? Yes?
CBGB's.
Yes. In October 2006. It was CBGB. Well done, Miff.
Well done, Miff.
First blood.
Next question for 2 points. Who's this? What musical shot him to worldwide fame? Yes.
Zac Efron.
It's High School Musical.
Yes, 2 points out of 2.
Well done.
I'm really ashamed that I know
Just in case.
No, but also, bang, you were the straight Zac Efron. You know what the kids like.
Yeah, I do.
I suppose it's all that sitting around having chemo and watching High School Musical.
For 3 points, tell me which artist had these 3 #1 hits in 2006. Yes.
Sexy Back Timberlake.
Yes.
Rihanna.
Was in there, and for an unprecedented 2 questions right in the first round.
You go.
Oh God! I was going to say I had it, and then when I started talking about the unprecedented bit, I lost. Bob Sinclair.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Probably take the rest of the night off, if that's all right. You don't have to answer anything. I've done my quota now. I'm out.
You've done more than your quota.
I've done like 3 shows in 2 questions.
I know. Do you want to just draw a picture or something for
Yeah,
those?
just play in the corner quietly by myself.
Have some quiet time. Have a little sleep on
It's
the
a
rug.
flying dog. 10 legs. That can't exist. Yes, it can in a drawing.
Now, look, we just talked about the fans of Masters Apprentices, but we should point out, Wes, that you've got your own mad fans.
So I'm told, yeah. They're called Wesbians.
Don't laugh. We get a badge and everything. It's
I
good.
want my Look, I read about it like everybody else. I haven't really met a Wesbian yet. I can't wait to meet a Wesbian.
So you know what, right now you sound like Elmer Fudd. Very, very quiet. I'm looking for Wesbians. On the 1970, first question for 1 point. Released in 1970 and starring Barbara Streisand, was the musical film On a Clear Day You Can See What?
Forever.
Yes, Forever.
Yeah.
For 2 points. Let It Be was an appropriate name for the Beatles' 1970 release. In the same year, however, each member of the band released their own albums. Name 2 of those albums. Yes.
The Plastic Ono Band was Lennon's one,
Yes, it was.
and All Things Must Pass from George Harrison.
Yes, exactly.
Tim, you're one of the few who had it big in the 70s who's come on the show and can remember anything, and that is
That's true.
Jim actually was telling me that he met John, like, in the 70s, yeah?
I did.
Yeah.
We were recording at Abbey Road in 1970, and Lennon was recording the Plastic Ono Band album when we were there.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
He was walking down the corridor towards me, and I was walking towards him. It was great, and he said, "Get out of my way." No, he didn't. No, we had a shallow and meaningless conversation, but at least I met him, and it was good.
But not only did you meet John Lennon, you met him in Abbey Road.
In Abbey Road, yes.
That's just amazing.
I
That's
actually witnessed him recording a song. We were in Studio 2, and he was in Studio 3, and I walked out of Studio 2, and there was nobody in Studio 3, so I thought, I'll go in there and have a look. It's all right, darling. Carry on. And I went into
He's quite
Studio
used
3,
to having women
and
with
there
his
was
clothes on.
And I walked into Studio 3 and there was nobody there, and I thought, oh, yeah, and I'd just have a look, and all of a sudden I looked out into the studio and Lennon was out there, and he was sort of writing. He didn't see me, so I sneaked down behind the thing, and he was working class hero is something to be. He was working it out.
Really?
So I sat there and watched him working it out.